49 past the hour. Florida has become the 8th state in the U.S. to restrict transgender care for minors. The Florida Board of Medicine enacted a rule yesterday that bars children from starting puberty blockers or hormone therapy. The board says there is not enough research to justify the treatment's potential side effects. The American Medical Association, the American Academy of Pediatrics, and the American Psychological Association disagree and say the treatment is safe. A group of Florida parents says it plans to challenge the rule in court. And here in Miami, Governor Ron DeSantis' administration is looking to revoke a Miami hotel's liquor license after it hosted a Christmas-themed drag show that minors were allowed to attend with their parents back in December. According to a new complaint, the DeSantis administration called the performance sexually explicit and argued the hotel violated Florida laws on lewdness by hosting the show. The hosts of the drag performance have not responded to NBC's request for comment on the story at this time. But joining us now, NBC News correspondent Sam Brock and Glenn Kirshner, a former federal prosecutor and an MSNBC legal analyst. So, Sam, what do we know about this complaint filed by the state of Florida?
Yeah, Jose, good morning. Good to be with you. This is basically the second time now in the state of Florida a similar complaint like this has been filed by the DeSantis administration, and it takes on heightened importance in the context of the Tennessee law that was just passed, banning public drag performances, and certainly if there's any children present, a criminal offense potentially. So here's what's going on in Florida and specifically in Miami. On December 27th, there was an event at the venue over my shoulder here. This is linked to the Hyatt Regency, but it's actually a separate venue. Hyatt says that they only provide food and beverage as a third-party manager to it, and nonetheless, Governor DeSantis is trying to take away the liquor license of the Hyatt Regency here in Miami. And I want to quote some of the language that's in that complaint because, Jose, as you mentioned, they talked about how sexually explicit this event was. DeSantis' administration says the nature of the show's performances, particularly when conducted in the presence of young children, corrupts the public morals and outrages the sense of public decency. In the complaint, it goes out to talk about the fact that there is nudity, that there are simulated sex acts, that there is prosthetic female genitalia that's put in people's faces, and that is what they're objecting to. Now, as you talk to the LGBTQ community here and drag performers, they'll tell you this is freedom of art and expression, and usually it's not sexual in nature, and they feel like it's an infringement on free speech. Here's what one performer told us.
Hey, drag is art, and art is always subjective. You're going to like it or you're going to hate it. It's somewhere in between. But the thing that we have to remember about art is that it really kind of takes what's going on in the world and it puts it into this like really digestible, fun form where it reflects what's going on in society back to you, hopefully in a really fun way.
And Jose, you can't have this conversation without also acknowledging what's going on in the state of Florida right now. Certainly we talk about the parental rights and education law that was just passed last year that created so much controversy about not touching LGBTQ topics in school up to 3rd grade. There is now a push to expand that to 8th grade. Governor DeSantis also trying to ban DEI funding on college campuses. So they see it as all part and parcel of the same kind of political agenda. Jose?
And Glenn, is it legal to revoke a liquor license for these reasons?
You know, Jose, it feels like the Hyatt Regency will have a robust defense to this for a couple of different reasons. One, I think it remains to be seen whether the Hyatt was the appropriate party here because it wasn't their venue. They simply provided food and beverages, according to the reporting. But I also think there will be a robust First Amendment defense of this attempt by DeSantis in the state of Florida to pull the liquor license. I think there will be equal protection of laws defense available. And here's the other thing I find so interesting. When I read the 17-page complaint by the Florida State Department of Business Regulation, they acknowledged in there that this event was marketed to and authorized to be attended by people who were 18 years of age and older. However, they said in the event a parent wants to bring a 17-year-old son or daughter, for example, that's not prohibited. And yet now we have Ron DeSantis wanting to basically take control of a parent's decision whether to bring their 17-year-old son or daughter to this event. That feels like DeSantis wanting the state of Florida to act like not only big brother, but big mother and father. All of that will present some defenses for the Hyatt.
Sam Brock and Glenn Kirshner, I thank you very much for being with us this morning. And turning now